What's up, everybody? Let's have some fun. Can everybody hear me? That's what I need to know, if everybody can hear me. Let me shoot this out to some people. What up, Jazz? What up? What up? This big guy with the email. Oh, man. Let's see who we got in here. Man, hope everybody's doing good. Just sending out some invites. Somebody, let me know if you can hear me, because I got my Bluetooth on, so I don't know if everybody can hear me or not. Jazz, can you hear me? Let's see. Let me take this Bluetooth off. All right, here we go. All right, just waiting for folks to roll in. Oh man, hot toddy. Folks to roll in. Oh man, hot toddy. Oh man, hot toddy. good, Mimi? What's up, cousin? What's good?
Okay, just got off work.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
You
just got off work, trying to keep my mind on the right things and not the wrong things.
oh well, that's the first part of it. You know what I'm saying? It's a journey. You know what I'm saying? Don't let the wrong consume your mind. You know what I mean? Because and I don't mind is the devil's playground. You know what I mean?
It hurts because
Thank
I
you for the
felt
love.
like it hurts because I felt like the person that I was with could have did better and didn't have to put us in this predicament. And now it's like everything's said and done, and everybody was arguing, fighting over me. And now it's like, okay, thus, I feel like the relationship with him has to go, and the relationship with my children have to go for right now, so I could heal and get better, so I could be who I have to be and not try to please and be there for everybody else. I have to worry about
Yeah,
myself,
yeah.
and
Sometimes you
I
got to
felt
go
like
into
I go ahead, sorry.
to selfish mode.
Yeah, and I could have did better when that incident happened. Like I could have got out of the car. I didn't have to say the things that I did. I didn't have to let play into the live. I could have just got out, stepped out, and let him just look dumb on his own in that car by himself and waited till whatever happened happened. But I didn't realize that till the next day, and like it bothers me. I play back. Like yesterday, I went to church. I went to Bible study yesterday night, and my pastor was like, "Just get under me, Rosalinda, get under me." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." So yeah,
Well, that's what's up. You know what I mean? That's what you got to do. You know, your pastor can lead you in the right direction with things and whatnot. So, but I'm glad you can join us tonight. You know, we gotta, maybe coming into this today will be a little something different. Who
yeah.
knows? You know,
Yeah, I do want to learn about how to have healthy relationships. I
yeah,
mean, I do know what type of person I am, but I can't control everybody else around me. But I do that know that when I do get into another relationship, I want it to be the right way and godly. I'm standing on that, you know,
yeah, yeah.
my value.
Relationships are all about communication. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
have to walk into, relationships, marriage. You got to walk in with communication and in my opinion, no expectations but requirements that you want from this particular person. Once you display what your requirements are, if they're not willing to do to meet your requirements, then that's not your person. And you keep pushing forward.
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
33. What's up, big dog?
What's going on, Doc? How you?
Man, I'm here, brother. A little hoarse.
I was about to say, it sound like you're getting over a little something over there.
Yeah, I'm getting over it. Getting over it, man. Got me a little hot toddy right here, so I'm good.
What?
We got Guy's daughter up on the panel tonight.
Hello, how are you, love?
Good, nice to meet you.
You too. That's good.
Sherry, what's good? Hey, Sherry.
What's up, Sherry?
I could say hi. I'm just like, oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, that's how I get shy. I do have to work on that. I do have to work. That's one of the, it's a little, not insecure, but I do get shy. So yeah.
It's all good. It is all good, man. Where you at, 33? Where you at these days, brother?
Oh man, I'm headed to the bad weather. Hopefully, it doesn't get bad until I leave.
Oh
But
man.
up to Massachusetts.
Ooh,
I'm
you up there.
Yeah, I'm running through Baltimore right now. Um,
Okay.
Trying to cut some of this time down so I don't have as much to get tomorrow.
Hey, you always be on it, bro.
Oh yeah, 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 man. I missed the past couple of weeks.
Well, man,
Um,
shit. Last week, I didn't do it. Last week was,
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving Eve. So
Yeah.
I
Mm,
came on, like my daughter came on, and I was just like, you know what? We'll just push this to next week. You know what I'm saying? Because folks with their family, all of that stuff.
right.
Yeah, man. So Massachusetts, man. I like Massachusetts for whatever reason. Call me weird. Yeah, man. Sherry said she gonna get you, bro. she
She said what? What happened?
gonna,
I
she
missed
gonna
it.
get you. Let me put
Oh,
her up here. She
she's gonna
mad at
get
you.
me.
She gonna get you. She said she been trying to get back in contact with you. Here she comes. She about to get you. Get him, Sherry.
All right, woman, control yourself. I don't tell you. Don't be acting out in public. How you
What did
doing,
you
love?
tell me? Don't hi love me. I ain't heard from you. No. Wanna hi love me now.
Don't
Let me
How
show
you
hear
up.
been,
you.
Sherry?
Don't show up because I think you're supposed to
No,
be calling me
Thanksgiving.
back, and that didn't happen.
Hi, Marlon. I'm not talking to you. You
Oh
didn't even
no!
call me for
See how
Thanksgiving.
that goes, Marlon. You see how that goes, Marlon. See how it just switched over to "Hi, Marlon." Yeah, yeah, right. See, they want the truth, but they don't want to hear the truth. I, I, as a matter of fact, Marlon, let me tell you how it went.
Didn't you invite me
I'm
for
getting in.
Thanksgiving? Where were you?
I'm getting in the car. I'm getting in the car. I'll call you back when I get out.
Boss lady, what's going on?
You
Where's
did
boss
not
lady
call
at?
me
Boss
for.
lady
You
in
did
here?
not call. You didn't call
What's
me for
happening, boss
Thanksgiving.
lady?
Oh yeah. Hi, boss lady.
Yeah, I didn't get a call for Thanksgiving either.
Oh, boss lady and old Big Daddy didn't call me for Thanksgiving.
Yo, I love this, man. I gotta let the beginning always be like y'all gotta go with y'all antics. I love
I swear.
it.
I don't know what's on this woman's mind.
Hey, look,
I'm gonna
look.
put you on timeout. That's what I'm doing.
Marlon, don't laugh at that, man.
Hey, man,
Don't
you putting a grown
entertain
man,
that.
you putting a grown man on timeout, bro.
Put him on timeout. I'm gonna get a blue chair and I'm gonna tell you to sit there. You're on timeout.
Not the blue chair. Dang.
Right,
Word.
blue. Man, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in.
How
Make
was
sure
your
you grab that
Thanksgiving,
daily
big?
heart me at the top. Grab the
It was
daily heart
okay.
me.
I got a chance to spend some time with my mom and dad.
Goddaughter, what's
Did you
good?
cook?
I did. I did cook.
What What did you
After being
cook?
on the road all night, I went to Next Level's house and I made candy M's. What I was supposed
Mm.
to make, I didn't make a dressing because he made it, which was fine
Mm.
because I was tired. But I did the mixing stuff there for the sweet potato pies, and then I took the mix home to our parents and I made the pies there. So everybody got a sweet potato pie and candy yams.
Oh, yum.
Let me find out you
Yeah.
can cook.
Oh, I can burn, bro. I
I
can
believe you,
burn.
man.
Yes, sir. I can get down.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
no doubt, no doubt. Boss
I'm just
lady,
never home to do that. That's the thing.
Hi.
what's
Hi,
going on?
boss
Hey, lady.
lady.
What's
How
up?
are
Wagwan.
you?
How was your Thanksgiving?
Good day, huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Not no, I've been sick for almost 2 weeks. I'm just resting, you
What?
know,
Man, everybody's sick right now, man. That's crazy.
Yeah,
resting.
the flu going
I'm
around. It may
feeling
be
better
weather
now,
change.
though. Thank God.
You know, I was wondering because
Mm.
I ain't seen you in the gym.
Yeah.
Well, I checked on him, but I got cussed out. So I didn't call back.
Hey, man, what's up with you
Me
getting
cussed
cussed
you
out, man?
out.
Say what? What you
I,
said?
I cursed you out.
No, you didn't curse. You just fussed me out.
Oh, oh. Sorry, Wagwan.
Nothing much. I'm not talking to Big. He's supposed to call me for Thanksgiving.
Nobody talking to you about that mess, that
Mm.
garbage. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm
Not
still.
even a
I'm glad.
message.
I'm
Not
glad I
even a
didn't hold my
message.
breath. I'm glad I didn't hold my breath. If I had held my breath, I'd be dead as a doornail right now.
Oh,
Word.
please. I told you when I did tell you I'll call you back. I am sorry.
And
I
what
forgot.
happened? Oh,
I
oh,
forgot. I
oh,
was tired.
oh.
I fell
But you know
asleep.
what? You know what? I'll give that to you because you own that. I appreciate that. That's taking accountability. Marlon, prime example. Accountability taken. Thank you.
Yeah, so why you didn't call me for Thanksgiving?
Because I was
Oh,
still waiting on you to call me back.
Mhm.
you know
Yeah.
what? I'm gonna save all y'all right now because we're gonna hit this topic. 'Cause
Let's
y'all,
hit it. Let's do
I'm
it.
gonna help you on this one, big guy, because you about to get in trouble.
Uh-oh. Let's do it.
All right, y'all ready for the topic for tonight?
Yep.
Did y'all peep at that? Did y'all peep at it? Do y'all know what it is?
Uh-oh.
What's the
I didn't
topic?
see it.
All right, topic for tonight is when your partner cuts you off and you think cheating is the answer.
Huh.
What do you
Wow.
mean by cut off?
That's what I was gonna say. What you mean
Like a
by cut
break?
off?
Like a little break?
No, in the bedroom.
Oh no. That's
When your
definitely a
partner
no.
cuts
That's
you
that's
off,
a no-fly zone.
hey, look, I hit everything.
Cut,
When your partner cuts you off
cut me
and you
off?
think cheating is the answer because it's
Oh,
not
what
the
I
answer.
say?
Oh,
You know, it's not. Cheating is never the
Hmm.
answer.
boss
Mm-mm.
lady, you gonna answer that?
Me? No, answer.
Oh, okay. Sherry, you gonna answer that?
Nope.
You're the spokesman,
You said what?
Mhm.
You're the spokesman.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Well, first off, it shouldn't be any cutting off. Because if you're in a relationship working towards, being married, or just if you're in a
Mm.
relationship and you're married already, then your body isn't yours, and their body isn't theirs. So there should be no cutting off, mad or not mad or whatever. And the reason for
Mm.
that is
Hmm.
because you don't have
Hmm.
that type of scenario happen. That's why you never do any cutting off. But with saying that being the very first thing, the second thing is that no, you should not be cheating, or you should not step outside of that because you're no longer receiving an intimate type of setting of affection. That's I mean that's unless you're Muslim and have more than one wife, then maybe. But other than that, nah, that's just cheating. It's cheating.
Of course.
You know, everything can be resolved with a conversation. You know, um, so like the core question
Mm.
is: when intimacy stops in a relationship, what is reasonable? What is reasonable?
It's
Is
what y'all
anything
agree
reasonable?
on. It's what you agree on.
Correct. It's what you agree on.
I
Exactly.
mean, like if it stopped
Um,
permanently, I don't know.
is
No,
that
meaning
what?
like when let's say
What's
the
up,
flame
Diablo?
burns out, and it's no longer
Thank you.
hot and heated anymore, or you you've just spent so much time together to where you just it's relaxed now. But even that relaxed stage comes to a point of some sort of understanding.
I mean, I mean, some people,
Right.
it's not a must for them. I don't know. It's some people, when it happens, it happens. I don't know. It doesn't necessarily mean that somebody cheated. It just means that you know, if it happens, it happens. I mean, me personally, I don't really care for it. So.
I mean, you hit a very Gary. Not everything is about the sexual aspect of it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, I think when intimacy stops, I think reasonable is temporary, but unreasonable is when it becomes the new norm. Every day, it's always I'm tired, or I'm about to go hang out with my boy, or I'm about to go do this. I'm gonna do this. That's when it becomes unreasonable. Um,
Hmm.
and then the next question that comes along with it is, how long can someone go without intimacy before resentment kicks in?
Mm. Mm.
You know what I mean? That's the ultimate thing that's going to end up happening. You're going to end up resenting the other person.
Right.
You know,
Right. Are you
It's-
right? Absolutely right. Yeah.
let's shoot this out. Where I I mean, because at the end of the day, nobody wants to feel ignored. Nobody wants to feel like rejected or unwanted. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Nobody wants to feel lack. You know what I mean? But you know, this topic tonight is definitely a different one, but it was presented to me, and somebody said, "Hey man, can you run this?" I'm like, hey, cool. Let's figure out how to make it right. You know, um,
Mm.
got Jazz coming in.
No, I was trying to get out of there. That was an
What's good?
accident.
Huh? You were trying to leave, Jazz? Okay. She was trying to get out. Like, I ain't touching that one with a 10-foot pole. um, so number two, right? Um, the gray area between boundaries and neglect. Um, is withholding intimacy a form of emotional punishment?
Some people do it.
It can be.
Yeah. If someone's holding out on purpose and basically somebody holding out on purpose is to punish, to control, or as they say, teach a lesson. But all that becomes like an emotional manipulation. You know what I mean? Um, which is all crazy because now you're weaponizing vulnerability.
There you go.
The end result is
Exactly
somebody who's
right.
going to be vulnerable. Yeah. You know? Yeah, man. It's a tough one. It's a real tough one, Um,
Yeah, especially when you begin to weaponize certain parts of the relationship. I mean, it knocks everything else off too. You know.
yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Um, it's like, so my next part is like, when does I'm not in the mood become I'm shutting you out? That's the crazy one. When it starts to happen every night or every week, every month, and the answer never changing, that pushes people. That would definitely push you to be like,
Right.
well, you know what, you don't want to give it to him, I'm gonna go get it from somewhere else. But it's a simple
Right.
thing of just having a conversation.
That part.
Yeah. Got a lot of background going on. Somebody got the TV on? Let's see. Where's Peachy? Peachy said she's about to jump in. One second. Getting something her. Jerry, I'm gonna mute you for a second. Nope. It's big time. There we go. There was a lot of background, so all right. Okay. Let's see. What's the next point? Number 3. Emotional needs versus physical needs. Which breaks the relationship first? Emotional or physical disconnect? Which one breaks it
I think
first?
it varies. It varies per person. I think emotionally for women, physically for men.
That's exactly what Jazz said. Boy, y'all was spot on. Spot on. Yeah, definitely. I mean, women definitely keep more of that emotional connection. Men definitely do the physical. Um, but I think even overall, emotional breaks it first. Um, the physical part, the physical intimacy usually dies because the emotional connection died before that. So now the physical is like out the window. It becomes an emotionless type thing. I am love support. What's good? What's good? All right, Sherry, talk with you later. Appreciate you sliding in. I can drop you down so you don't lose those coins. All right. Yeah, man, it's the emotional definitely plays, I think, one of the biggest parts because when you're thinking about intimacy, and intimacy ain't always about just the sex, it's the things that you normally do, the cuddling, the holding hands, just the intimate parts of the relationship. If you're not doing those particular things, yeah, it's a trickle down effect. Um, what happens when one partner feels rejected consistently? What happens when one partner feels rejected consistently?
Experience that begin to shut down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. In 3.5 miles.
They begin to feel like they ask themselves they ask to start asking themselves questions. Keita, what's good? Am I unwanted? Am I unattractive? Does my partner still desire me? Is something wrong with me or us? That's what happens when a partner feels
That's what
rejected
happened.
consistently in a relationship.
All of the above.
Exactly. It definitely begins to feel like they're not enough. And that's man, that's a to feel inadequate, not enough, that's probably one of the worst feelings that a person can have. You can take a whole lot of stuff and absorb it and whatnot, but not to feel like you're enough because now they want to go and seek it somewhere else because for whatever reason they don't feel like you can do it. Man, that's a hard one. That's the one that
That's
breaks people down the most.
So I got a question, Marlon. When that happens and your partner feels or may feel that um, you not being enough was an emotional type of move or thought, and they want it back. What does that look like? How does that happen? How does that even work?
So wanting it back, and I mean that's one of those things where you definitely have to understand who you are. You have to accept the certain things about who you are, the character who you are. Um, Peachy Tay, welcome in. Um, it's getting to know self first, in my opinion. It's you got to get to know yourself first to be able to kind of get you to that next step. Um, but if you don't try to discover who you are and what's important to you, that step never happens. And I think that's probably why a lot of times the misstep that people make is they don't get to the next step because they haven't figured out who they are. And a lot of people will put that on somebody else to try to make them, feel better and everything. But feeling better is your journey. You got to love yourself first before you can get someone else to love you. You know what I mean? Juju, what's good?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Police reported ahead.
But um, consistent rejection turns into, when you consistently reject it, it definitely turns into insecurity, frustration.
Right.
Big guy, mute yourself for a
In
second.
0.2 miles.
Yeah.
Continue.
All right, boss lady, see you in a minute. Consistent rejection turns into insecurity, frustration, resentment, and eventually, you begin to get that emotional distance between that person. You know what I mean? And that is probably one of the most dangerous places for a relationship to be at, when you got all of those particular things all right there. You know what I'm saying? See, I got AMLO support coming up. She was coming up. I don't know what happened. Let me put her by. AMLO support. I don't know if he was trying to come up or not. I just sent it back. If not, it's cool. But yeah, that's a dangerous place for a relationship to be at, because you feel so inadequate at that moment. You know what I mean? You feel inadequate. You don't know. A lot of times people will go through the motions of not even knowing how they're supposed to survive. It's a dark place to be at. It's a really, really dark place to be at. No worry, you good. So all this led up. Peachy Tay, what's good? You coming up? Juju, you're exactly right. Self-care and self-love comes from within. You know what I mean? So everybody that's just joining us, make sure you guys are grabbing your daily heart me up at the top. Topic for tonight. All right, let me let Peachy Tay up right quick. Let me get her up right quick.
Yeah. Hey, bro.
What's good, sis? What's good? What's good? Everybody that's just joining us. Topic for tonight is where's my little topic? What happens when your partner cuts you off and you think cheating is the answer? When your partner cuts you off and you think cheating is the answer. And so that actually leads us into number 4. Thanks for the heart, Nikita. Make sure you guys are liking and sharing it. So, does lack of intimacy ever justify cheating?
Now you know the answer is a big fat no, bro. Because intimacy could be just looking in somebody's eyes and telling them that, you know what, you really make me feel special.
Facts.
And just because you don't get that don't mean you get to have a work husband, a work boyfriend, a work wife, and all that stuff. And they tell you that. That is emotional cheating. And everybody, all these men like to say, oh, women so emotional. Well, why you go and do that? That means you cheating on her emotionally. If you know that, why do it? So yeah, that is it. I think that a lot of people are generalizing when they cut you off is cutting sex off. It's not just sex. Y'all, stuff stop working. So the cutoff can be a whole bunch of different things. And I'm gonna come in here with the different perspectives and not just let people be one-dimensional in their thinking. They probably have already said it already, because I'm late, but what I like to say is that, the cutoff could be anything. The cutoff could be what he did to get you is what he needs to do to keep you, or vice versa, what she did, and then they cut that off.
I got you.
That doesn't mean that you can step out because they stop making your favorite steak every Sunday with mashed potatoes and asparagus. And this other chick start making it and it actually tastes better. So you go over to her house on the weekend talking about, oh, I'm going over to the fella's house to watch the game. But you're going to let somebody cook for you.
Mm.
You may not be having sex, but still she's nourishing something in a relationship that you should have with your partner. That's a cutoff.
I got you. So Peter says, she says maybe.
Okay, Keita, come on. Let educate me.
All right, let me see if she's gonna come up. I don't know if she's still at work or not. I know she on her hustle. And Juju say building walls. And Juju said, let's talk about it. She's all right. Keita's working, so I appreciate you jumping in and still chiming in. So we can circle back to it. She on her grind right now, so she probably won't be working too much longer. Let's see, because I love to get different perspectives on everything. Miss Duke, welcome in, welcome in. But to answer the question from my perspective, it's well, let me do this part. Is it cheating if basic needs are ignored for months or years? Is it cheating if basic needs are ignored for months or years? Ms. Duke says, yes, if you're not honest. Yeah, you're still cheating. If you're still in that relationship, it's still cheating. Yeah, if you got to lie and sneak to go and do it, well, you know what? Let me spin that one. I'm glad Keita said it like that too. What if the other person that you're in that relationship with knows that you are doing it, but never committed to having an open relationship, but they just accept it that that's what you're doing? Does that still make it right? Is it still cheating? What is it? Then Keita said that it's not cheating. Okay. So I think it's still a form of cheating though, because you're now allowing the person that you're with, and that person is allowing themselves to explore someone else because they're not getting it at the house. I don't know, man. I think it goes down a rabbit hole on that one, because I think it's a deeper issue. I think it's a confidence issue at that point. I think it's like a internal battle. Ms. Duke says, yeah, it started as a lie. Yes. Yeah. Self-esteem. There we go. You know, uh, that's where I was going with it. Yeah. Your low self-esteem will allow a lot of things to happen. And notice I say allow. It will allow a lot of things to happen when there's a low self-esteem. Um, it gets I've seen people get to a point to where they are so blind by it, and they begin to tell themselves a story and just make up a story to make themselves feel good about the situation, to justify it. You know? Exactly. What are you willing to take? That's a lot, when you have to endure certain things, yeah. Um, but would we classify it as um, betrayal, regardless of the circumstances? Is it a betrayal? Yeah, I agree. Cheating is a betrayal. Um, it didn't happen in a vacuum. It ain't just happen like that. When you have unmet needs, it creates a vulnerability, right? Loneliness creates temptation. Emotional starvation creates an opportunity. So when you think about the loneliness, I had posted something the other day. I was listening to one of the pastors, and he was talking about it was okay with being alone. You know, being able to be alone and absorb your own loneliness is not a bad thing, because that's the point when you start to learn who you are. Um, Jimmy Duke says it's not an understanding. If it's not an understanding before the parties, it's betrayal. Yeah, I mean, it opens up another door. In my opinion, I'm not a therapist. I'm just a guy who's been through some things. You know, I think when you have unmet needs and you allow certain entities to come into that relationship, you could be welcoming something that is probably something that's unwelcome. You start going down into things that are going to get real murky. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know, but again, to each his own. I think it's a conversation. I think everything can be resolved with a conversation, because if two people can't agree that this is the route we need to do, then cool. Big guy, you still there? He might have had a stop.
No, I'm here. I'm
Oh,
here.
okay, okay. Oh, okay. Um, number 5. This is sis and bruh favorite word. Accountability on both sides. Are you communicating your needs? That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest accountability.
Yeah, bro, you got me on that one earlier today. I'll be transparent. I don't care. A lot of people can talk about, oh, they ain't doing this, that, and the other, but did you tell them that that's what you wanted? That's a part of accountability too. So, yes,
Yeah.
that is very true.
you know, we gotta communicate our needs. People are we assume. So here it goes. It goes back to how I always say, I don't have expectations of people. The only thing I have is requirements, and requirements is communication. As simple as that. If you can communicate something, whether you like it or not, that's communicating. You can communicate those particular things to say, you know what, I'm not good with this, or hey, I am good with this. It all starts with communication. Um, Sometimes people suffer in silence. Sometimes people suffer in silence. But, as we always say at this big age of ours, you know, healthy adults speak up. Healthy adults got to speak up and not hold that in silence, and with hopes of the other person understanding it or anything. If we haven't communicated, nobody don't know. You know, you know. It could be simple words like, "Hey, I miss us," or You know, babe, something feels off. Don't know exactly what it is, but something just feels off. Or, you know, hun, I'm feeling disconnected right now. Those those three little terms right there is something that you're pretty much going to create a safe space to say, hey, and you're being vulnerable at the same time, and you're creating that safe space to say, I'm recognizing that something just ain't right. What do we need to do to get it right? You know, it's questions. It's, in my opinion, it's not something that's hard to do. We just got to do it. We got to take the leap and say, you know what? Let me do this. Um, sometimes intimacy is gone because the emotional climate is cold. You know, it's in a cold place. You know, which cold goes back to that resentment. You know what I mean? Um, Intimacy can only thrive when it feels safe. You guys agree with that? Disagree? Yeah. You know, because if you don't feel safe, you're not going to be vulnerable. You're not going to want to share anything. You're not going to want to be close to that person. You're not going to want to do a whole lot of things. You got to be in that safe space. Um, the other question is, when we're talking about the cutoff, right? Is the cutoff partner ignoring emotional signs? You know, is the one that's cut off, did they ignore the emotional signs? What do you guys think about that? Big guy, Tay. I think big guy had to slide for a second. Hey, he gonna come back in. Um, I think sometimes, you know, a partner may not be um no, you good. You good. I think that sometimes a partner might not be withholding. They may be overwhelmed with whatever else is going on in their life. They could be depressed, feeling insecure, stressed, hurt. Um, and I think sometimes if it gets to that particular point, I think the biggest question that we have to ask is, um, and this is a moment of vulnerability, is what pain are you carrying that you haven't shared with me? You know, it's amazing how you can ask certain questions and will open up the door for people to walk in. Sometimes we have to open a door for somebody to walk in. You know, they got to feel safe to walk in that particular door. You know what I mean? Um, I think we just have to have more conversations. We have to be more adult about situations. We have to be more vulnerable. We have to be open. It's called emotional intelligence. We got to have emotional intelligence. Um, because just because there is a lack of intimacy, it doesn't excuse cheating. You don't go cheat to and there's no justification to it. You can't go um, saying, "Well, I did it because of so and so and so and so." No, that doesn't justify it. You know what I mean? I think that's a cop out to it. I think you just have to have a real conversation. But a lot of times people are afraid of having hard conversations, tough conversations, because it's uncomfortable. Um, because you got to realize when you're withholding affection, it's just as destructive as withholding communication. In which communication is the whole thing of it. Is if you're communicating, you can let a person know. Like if you truly just like something is off, tell the person that you with, look, something is off. I don't want you to think that I don't want you. Something is off right now. I don't know what it is, but let's sit down. Let's talk about it. Let's try to discover. Let's try to reconnect. You know, like I always tell everybody, my wife and I will do a check-in. Hey, are we good? You know, am I meeting your needs? Is there anything you need me to do? Is there anything you need me to not do? It's grown folk talk. You know what I'm saying? Grown folk have adult conversations. You know what I mean? Um, you know, but I also look at how people's mindsets are right now, right? So as I was sitting here writing down more more little topics to kind of explore on it. People don't cheat because they're greedy. Sometimes they cheat because they're starving. It's not excusing it, but explaining the emotional reality. You know, Emotionally, people don't know how to handle their emotions. You know, um, the more and more you ignore the intimacy within the relationship, the more and more it becomes like a business partnership. It's now, you know, you're now sharing bills and not a bond. You know what I mean? Deidre, what's good? What's good? Um, you know, Rejection changes how a person shows up for you. After a person get enough no's, they stop asking and then they stop trying. Welcome in, welcome in. Make sure you grab that daily heart me at the top. You know, um, Thank you for the heart me. Topic for tonight is what happens when your partner cuts you off and you think cheating is the answer? What happens when your partner cuts you off and you think cheating is the answer? Um, yeah, but rejection changes how a person shows up. After enough no's, they stop asking questions. They stop trying. They do not put in any effort. And by the time, if you don't recognize that when it's going on, it's going to be too late. Because what really broke the relationship wasn't the lack of intimacy. It was the lack of effort. Let me repeat that. The lack of intimacy didn't break the relationship. It was the lack of effort. I call that the big E, effort. We put effort into so many different type of things, but the things that we should put effort in, we don't. We don't put the effort in. Hence the reason why you end up feeling like this and get into that particular situation. Um, Distance grows Distance grows in empty spaces where conversation should have happened. When you have that distance that have grown in there, man, that's where you should have had those conversations. You know, ignoring that problem builds resentment faster than anything else. Everybody knows how it feels to be ignored. You know, you can't ignore the person. You just put your big boy pants on, big girl pants on, have adult conversations. If you don't feel wanted at home, the world becomes a very dangerous place. Because home is supposed to be your safe haven. But if you don't feel wanted at home, you know, I'm not making an excuse. It's just a warning sign. You know, the world is a dangerous place at that point. You know, my points are just to highlight things. You know, intimacy isn't just physical access, it's emotional access. You know, touch means nothing if the heart is unavailable. If your heart is unavailable, touch don't mean anything. Your heart has to be into it. Right, Deidre? You know what I'm saying? Being ignored is just like you can do a whole lot of crap to me, man. Don't ignore me. Just don't ignore me. Acknowledge me. You can tell me, look, I hear you, but I don't want to hear you. Cool. Appreciate you telling me that. You know? But welcome in, everybody. Make sure you guys are liking and sharing, you know, grabbing that daily heart me. Topic for tonight is what happens when your partner cuts you off and you think cheating is the answer. But it's not the answer. People cheat when they don't feel chosen anymore. You know, desires need reassurance, not neglect. Again, not making excuses for it, don't agree with it, just being reality. You know, people cheat when they don't feel chosen anymore. If you don't feel like this person has chosen you anymore, people tend to turn to someone to validate them. You know, I think one of the biggest things that we can do is validate ourselves so that you don't need someone else to validate you. You know, that's not saying that you don't want the person that you with to tell you, you know, that you look good today or, you know, I love you and everything. That's just to say your ultimate 100% validation needs to come from within yourself, you know? Recognizing that you can't you can't expect loyalty from someone who feels invisible. You know, the one thing that neglect breeds is temptation. You know, everything we're discussing tonight are things that you have to recognize so that you don't be in that position. The biggest highlight is communication. Make sure you communicate with each other. Simple communication will nip a lot of things in the bud. Because a lot of times when people cheat, when they're being cut off, it's not that they want somebody else. They don't want the other person. They just want to feel wanted. Let me say that again. When most people, when they end up cheating, is not that they want somebody else. They just want to feel wanted. You know? And, you know, that's where the emotional cracks, you know, start to form. Just that simple thing of wanting to feel wanted. You know, it goes back to, like Deidre said, you can't stand to be ignored. Nobody can. That's probably one of the biggest things is feeling ignored. And then, because if you're ignored, then you're feeling unwanted, you know? Understanding that cutoff thing, when you're shutting down intimacy, that's shutting down your connection with the person. And intimacy is not always the act of sex. Intimacy is the touch, the sweet nothings, the consideration. What's that? The cuddling, as my wife over here says. The cuddling is intimacy. The foreplay is intimacy. All of those things are considered part of intimacy. If you want to keep your partner, don't starve their needs. You got to feed the relationship. Love requires maintenance. Just like you got to go and get that oil change on the car to make sure you don't blow an engine. Your relationship needs the same type of maintenance. What you guys think about that? You agree? Does relationships need maintenance? Or, let's see. Like Deidre said, let me know what's wrong or what's bothering you so we can fix it. Yeah, it's that simple, man. Yeah, Ms. Dukes agrees. Like, just a simple conversation. It's amazing what a conversation can do. It's amazing what a conversation can do. But a lot of times we avoid just having conversations because it's uncomfortable. It don't feel good. Not everything in a relationship is going to feel good. The feel good comes after the conversation because you begin to open up a door. But yeah, you gotta have that maintenance, man. You gotta have maintenance in the relationship. You got to. Just a little few more. Understanding that intimacy. Okay, hold up. If I cheat, that won't feel good. No, it doesn't. And that's that's probably one of the most honest things. You know what I'm saying? Even when the person cheats, it don't feel good. It don't feel good because you know that you are being unloyal and unfaithful, and it bothers you. And then the end result is, yeah, communication will definitely be better because the end result that ends up happening is you start projecting onto the other person. You start at that point looking at and saying, feeling like they're doing something because you are. Because you need a reason at this point because you done did it now. Now you feel that you got to have a reason to justify it. Because you don't feel good about it. Instead of just being real with yourself and saying, you know what? I need to be honest. You need to go and communicate with that person. You need to go tell that person, hey, I did this and I was wrong. Own it. It's called that big word we like to use, accountability. You know what I mean? Thank you. Intimacy isn't a privilege in a relationship, it's a responsibility. Let me say that again. Intimacy isn't a privilege in a relationship, it's a responsibility. When you got with that person, on both ends, you're both responsible for each other. Yeah. When one partner stops showing up, the whole relationship suffers. Name of my podcast is 100 100. 100 100 is putting in the effort because there are going to probably be days where you're not going to show up at 100. You're only going to show up at 20. But guess what? Your partner got that other 80 to make it 100. But then there's going to be times when y'all both going to show up as 100 and y'all rocking 200, and it's going to feel so good. That's when you are on point with everything. You're communicating, you're loving on each other, you're doing you're having hard conversations. That's being 100 in a relationship. You can't come in any relationship 50-50 and with a 50-50 mindset, because that means you got one foot in, one foot out, and you're looking for a reason to not have to be 100. Don't let that go over anybody's head. Cheating is wrong, but so is starving your partner emotionally and pretending it doesn't matter. Neither one is right. Let me repeat it again. Cheating is wrong, but so is starving your partner emotionally and acting like it don't matter, as if they don't have feelings. But you know dang on well what you're doing, but you figure, oh, you got justification to do it because that's what you feel. Nah. And one of the things that is a big thing that people like to use as an excuse to go and cheat. Oh, I need some space. There's a big difference between needing space and disappearing emotionally. Needing space is a thing that you truly say, I need some space to really focus in on myself to understand what's going on right now. Right? That's what space is. To collect your own thoughts. Not to go and crawl up under somebody else and disappear emotionally. Space is healthy, but absence is damaging. Hey, appreciate that, sis. I'm just dropping stuff, man. Um, if I can get you guys, go ahead and tap that screen. Man, I ain't even getting no likes tonight. I'm over here rolling. I'm over here just rolling, man. I appreciate the likes and everything. If anybody can, give me some likes up there. Space is healthy, but absence is damaging, right? Um, Space is that time where you're saying, I want to go and just take a moment and understand, right? But absence is, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to be accountable. I want to just ignore it and act like it doesn't even exist. That's a cop out. You know what I'm saying? If your partner is begging for a connection, understand that's a cry for help, not a complaint. If your partner is begging you for connection, that's a cry for help, and they're not complaining. But a lot of times when people don't want to deal with something, they go, oh, you're just complaining about this and you complaining about that. When in reality, what they're trying to do is they're asking to connect with you. They're trying to save the relationship. They're not trying to nag you. They're truly trying to save the relationship because they recognize that something ain't right. You know? Here's a big one. Here's a big point. You can't demand loyalty while providing loneliness. Make that make sense. Again, cheating is wrong. But you can't expect somebody to be loyal to you if all you're making them do is feel lonely. You know, people stay loyal when they feel valued. Let me run that one back. People stay loyal when they feel valued. When the bedroom goes cold, the relationship starts to freeze. When the relationship goes cold, the relationship starts to freeze. Intimacy is the heat that keeps love alive. That's what keeps love alive. That's the heat that keeps it alive. Starving someone of affection is a silent breakup. It's like carbon. It's like carbon monoxide. It's a silent killer because the relationship ends long before that person actually leaves. They've already emotionally gone. But to prevent all that, it's just simple communication, man. You know, the the reality of things is if you won't meet their needs, somebody else will try to. And that's not a threat at all. That's reality. That's reality. Um, what everybody thinking right now? What are you guys thinking so far? Before I move on to some more points here. I like this session tonight. It's more of a conversation. Let's see. Intimacy is where trust is reinforced. Appreciate you, Deidre. You know, intimacy is where trust is reinforced. You know, without it, trust starts to crack. You know, a connection keeps the relationship glued together. You know, that glue is, you know, either you got some gorilla glue, you got some crazy glue. Or you got that white Elmer's glue that we had in elementary school. You know, that glue don't hold nothing but some popsicle sticks. But connection is keeps the relationship glued together. When you stop touching your partner, you stop reaching for them emotionally too. Because now, when you don't even want to touch them or be touched or anything, you're emotionally not even reaching for them. You know what I mean? That physical distance becomes an emotional distance. See, Deidre says, I mean, if I say I need a hug, I'm going to need that. You tell me, no, we got a problem. Absolutely. Yeah. A hug, like if someone can't give you a hug, it's something so much deeper. Yeah, that's wild, man. Here's another reality. A person can be faithful and still feel completely alone. person can be faithful and still feel alone. It's like that loneliness inside of relationships hits harder than a loneliness by yourself, because it's like, dang, I got somebody right here, but I feel lonely. Yeah, been there, done that, got a t-shirt, man. You know, like my t-shirt says, I'm not a therapist. I'm just a guy who's been through some things. If the relationship feels one-sided, desire dies on both ends. Yeah, DJ, I think we all have been down that road before. Um, if a relationship feels one-sided, desires die on both sides. You know, love needs, reciprocity, not resistance. Love needs reciprocity, not resistance. Um, that whole thing of cutting off and holding back from somebody, that's neglect, you know. And neglect is a form of abandonment, right? Um, even if you never left the house, if you don't even leave the house, it's going to feel like neglect. Um, being present physically doesn't mean that you're present emotionally. You know, it's like that Tamia song, Stranger in My House. That person that they're with, they're in the house, but that person is a whole stranger to them. Welcome back, Keita. You know, that person is a stranger to them, and they're in the same house because it's neglect. You know what I'm saying? You're free. They don't let you off the plantation, as I call my job, the plantation. um, I'm gonna hit one of these other points, and then Keita, you can come up, and if you remember what it was that you was dropping before, come back on it or whatnot. Most affairs start with one sentence. Does anybody know what that one sentence is? Most affairs start off with one sentence. What do you think that one sentence is? This should be kind of interesting. Hello? That's a word. That's a word. It's a sentence. I'm not fooling with you tonight.
Man.
Most affairs start with one sentence. Hello. Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nah, that one sentence is, I don't feel seen. Most affairs start off with, I don't feel seen. Um, Emotional invisibility is dangerous. That means you're not going to see anything that's coming, that's going to happen, and then all of a sudden you're going, when, how, where, how did all this happen? You know what I mean? You can't fix what you refuse to acknowledge. Avoiding the conversation is choosing to lose the relationship. I think that should be like a common sense thing, in my opinion. Again, I'm not a therapist. I'm just a guy who's been through some things. Um, you can't fix what you refuse to acknowledge. Love requires effort. Withholding intimacy requires none. One builds connection, the other destroys it. in my opinion. Again, I'm not a therapist, just a guy who's been through some things. Um, let's take a pause on the highlights for it. Well, I only got two more, and then we're gonna go to Keita. Even strong people break when they feel consistently rejected. Everyone has a limit. It's just about who gonna make you get to that limit. Who gonna take you there? Um, and my last point: if you shut your partner out long enough, they stop knocking. And once that happens, that relationship enters survival mode. For survival mode of a relationship, boy, that means they're about to do the bare minimum. That means they're just trying to figure out how they're going to get out and how them getting out is going to put them on the plus of getting out. They don't want to be in the negative of getting out. They're trying to figure out, well, how the hell am I going to get out of this and come out on top? But that's all my points. So we're gonna circle back to Keita because Keita, and I gotta see if Tay is around because I know Tay wanted to hear this. Peachy Tay wanted to hear Miss Keita thoughts on that. As it goes back to okay, she's still here. Um, where Miss Keita said when she said maybe it was she said maybe it was it was gotta find what it was that you said maybe about
Mm-hmm.
um it was something. Oh, does the lack of intimacy ever justify cheating?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I like to be difficult, but every situation I feel is different. And I'm just like thinking on the extreme of something, right? So what if my spouse is on the deathbed? I guess doesn't necessarily we didn't necessarily agree to me seeing other people per se, but this also ain't the time for me to be talking about seeing anybody either, right? The focus is on them, so it's just like, maybe you know or like Peach Day was talking about a lack of intimacy. Some people, and I know it happens a lot in marriages, where the woman will withhold intimacy against the man because she feel like her needs aren't getting met. But I feel like you mentioned too, everybody has a breaking point. And I feel like if a woman is being malicious in that sense and doing that just because she can, I don't think it's fair. Like, obviously, I feel like that man should leave, but we also never know what may be tethering him to that relationship either. And what if he's trying to divorce her or what have you, and she's unwilling to sign divorce papers? Like, there are so many nuances to things. So that's why I just say maybe.
Okay, I get that. Yeah, and again, I think it's one of those things. To each his own. Let's see, who is this? Um, Bees Beauty Bow. Welcome in. You know somebody up on this panel? Bees Beauty. Anybody know Bees Beauty?
Mm-mm. Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh,
What's up, Bianca? I invited her on.
okay. I kept looking. I was like, I thought that's what it was. Got it.
I'm not getting this right
Okay.
here. I'm not getting that. Yeah, I'm
Um,
checking out. Sorry.
Um, but yeah, I think that, like you said, Keita, if somebody's on their deathbed, you probably, does that give a justification? If you're really there with that person, you really focus on this person because you're like, this person about to leave me. And I think probably emotionally people, may go that route because it's like, oh my God, I'm not going to feel an emotional connection. And they want to try to feel again because a lot of times I think people can become numb in those extreme situations. They become numb to the reality of what's about to transpire in their life. And then they just want somebody to make them feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that one. I get it. It ain't right, but I get it. You know what I mean?
True.
Um, yeah,
No,
that's
I
crazy,
never
man.
condone cheating. Like first and foremost, let's just say that. I just feel like
Right.
certain circumstances, it's just like technically, yeah, that would be deemed as cheating, but also at the same hand, this other person could be in a vegetable state. Like not necessarily any say so. You can't
Yeah.
really say, you know what I mean? Like I don't
So
know.
are you like talking about dating or marriage?
I'm talking about marriage. Like I said, I'm just being extreme and
Okay,
just
because I was gonna say I swear in marriage is till death do you part. So if they in the vegetable state, they still alive. What if they come back
they are.
100% and then you cheated? Now you feel guilty because they never did that to you. Like
I mean, that's also a possibility too. I'm talking about somebody who about to be up out of here. You know what I'm saying
they're
too.
about to
That's
be,
the
but they're not. Just like the technically and all that are still like buffers, but it's not the actual fact. And I think it gives people an excuse to fail. Um, and we just have different opinions, but I don't agree with it.
like I said, I never said I agreed. Never
Oh,
once.
okay,
I'm just
okay.
all I'm saying
Just
is,
Yeah, yeah. She
you
never
know,
said she agreed. She just throwing
she
in
out
throwing
certain
out stuff like I be
circumstances,
doing. Okay, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah, playing
Got
devil's
you.
advocate. You know, there are certain
I feel
circumstances.
you.
What if this
Get
person
them
has been
wheels
in this state
turning.
for like 2, 3 years? You know what I mean? What they've been in a coma for this long? Like I don't know. People have justifications for it, and I'm just like, hey, I ain't here to judge.
Yeah,
If that's your justification, that's what it is.
that's what it is. Yeah. Cause it's the Christmas holiday time and them Hallmark movies, boy. Somebody was in a coma for 30 years and then they went to their hometown and start working at a little country store and the love of their life was in a coma and they went and visited because they went to high school together and then they come back to life. Look, I need to write me a Hallmark movie. But nah, for real.
I just saw
I
that one
love those
Tyler Perry
things.
movie. That's what you just reminded me of. Was it Finding Joy? That's what that sounded like.
Yes, yes, yes,
That was
yes.
so
Finding
dramatic
joy.
for no reason.
That was a Hallmark movie.
It was a Tyler Perry movie, but it's like a Christmas.
You
It was
better
very
tell her
dramatic.
again.
Very
Pride and
dramatic.
Joy.
Yeah, she was doing the most. I was just like, really, really, Tyler Perry.
What?
It was a lot. But no, I
Wow.
feel it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That Hallmark is something crazy. But I mean, thinking about that, right? Somebody in a coma. That's a. Let's say they've been in that coma for 6 years.
That's a long time.
That's a long
hmm
time.
That's a long time, bro.
A long
So what would you do?
Hey man, I don't even know if I'm qualified to answer that
What do you
question.
think is fair? Like, think about the rapper Papoose and Remy Ma. You know what I mean? Like, what about that situation? How long was she locked up? 7 years or something like that?
But see, that's to me that's different, right?
Okay.
I think that is different because you had a date. You know what I'm saying? You had a date. Like if somebody get locked up, you know what I'm saying? Same thing that happened like when Gucci Man was locked up. You know what I mean? There, you got a date of when you coming out.
Mm-hmm.
That's different than somebody that's in a coma.
True. That's true. That's
You
true.
know, somebody in a coma.
Mm-hmm.
After 3 years, I think it's like
What you gonna do? What you gonna do, man? What you gonna do?
I don't. I mean, where I'm at now in life, man, I'm at so much peace. I don't. I'm gonna be right there. I ain't about to do
Mm-hmm.
nothing because I've already adapted to to be able to be sustainable.
There
You
you
know what I'm
go.
saying? I'm
Mhm.
at that point in my life where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna be here. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna do
Mm-hmm.
this, and then if it's God's will that my spouse comes out of it, great. You know, until that time comes, I'm not gonna go run to somebody else to fill
Mm-hmm.
a void because I
Mm-hmm.
already filled it. Me
Mm-hmm.
personally, I've already filled that void to where I don't need nobody else to do it because I don't want to have to hurt that person because that time comes and they wake up. All right, you got to go.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm already 100. You know what I'm saying? Like now, if I was a smooth 50, yeah, if I was 50, yeah, I'm gonna have me something else.
Oh my
Understand that.
God.
And then if I'm 50, she I'm gonna have to make a real tough decision once that person come back. Like, and if I'm already
Mm.
dealing with somebody, like, um,
Oh, uh-uh.
what y'all think about Polly?
Oh, uh-uh.
Be like, you was in a coma for 6 years. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Man, what do you expect me to do?
I mean, but that'd
But
be a
see,
hard shock to the nervous system. Because, I mean, yeah, she been out for 6 years, but it was just yesterday to her that she saw you. You know what I mean? Like, ugh.
yes, and that is the crazy part. Again, that's why somebody being locked up versus something like that is different. But it's the circumstances and where people at in life. Locked up is, I know I'm gonna get out.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm gonna get out. God forbid, something don't happen while I'm in there. I'm gonna get out. So,
Yeah.
but man, you could definitely go down a rabbit hole with that one.
Mm-hmm. For
you know,
sure.
it's like what circumstances or situation can happen to where you go, yeah, this is justifying.
Mm-hmm.
And justifying is only gonna be if you know e- maybe you had a pre-conversation with the person. You know,
Mm.
people have conversations. In the unlikelihood of things like this happening, people have conversations. So hey, you know, um, it's like something happened to me. Move on.
You're right.
You know,
You're right.
man, that's crazy. As I sit here and I'm just looking, I'm like, that's crazy.
If something happened to you, would you want your wife to move on?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
That's how it should be.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. I want you to move on. And moving on doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to go and be with somebody else. That's her choice. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my thing is as long as you're happy within yourself and you want somebody else to add to your happiness, what am I to say?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gone. But it can be like, like I look at my mom. When my dad died, man, my mom was like, I ain't trying to deal with nobody else and haven't.
Mm.
She's like, I don't want to deal with nobody else because I don't believe I'm gonna find another man that's gonna love God as much as my husband did. And I don't feel like trying to relearn nobody.
I know that's right.
When you've been married for somebody for almost 50 years,
Mm.
please, I'm not gonna deal with these
There,
jokers.
there's a term I just learned recently called the gray divorce. They're saying is the gray divorce is on the rise. So the gray divorce now is a term where people who have been together for, X amount of years, decades, or whatever, they are getting divorced. Where it was at once 3%, now it's up to 30% or something like that. As a
Yes. Yeah. And
like,
I
where
seen
y'all
that.
going? Where y'all going? Girl, you better go get Otis and quit playing.
They going to
Right.
the nursing home to play with Larry.
Yeah, but you know what? I
Listen,
did see that. And I think,
Quit playing.
in my opinion, I think a lot of that has spin around. I think social media has caused a lot of that. I think social
For
media
older
caused a
people?
lot of that because you got these older men, older women out here, and let's be real. We look at us and we don't look our ages. So you got a younger crowd that is attracted to the zaddies and
You right.
I mean it's and when you got the cougars that saying shoot man they got this young boy over here trying so it's like
That's
it's
true.
a different type of attraction that's getting appealed on and it's like
Mm,
somebody's looking at me again.
mm. Or because again, back in the day, they got married so young, and a lot of people just would not leave marriages, even though they were unhappy. That was generations ago how it was. So maybe
Yeah.
they had, hey, look, I'm no longer being shamed. You know what I mean? For not sticking beside my husband. So hey, why not get up out of here? You want to treat
I
me
guess
right? No way for all these 50 years. Kids gone.
You know, kids gone. I mean, it's crazy seeing people married that long, and I've seen people who were married until their kids got like 25, and it's like, all right, I'm out.
I know that's right. I mean, I feel you. If you weren't happy, you know what I mean? You really just stuck it out for the kids. Like, I'm all for doing what's best for you.
Yeah, yeah, I ain't, don't stay somewhere,
Absolutely not.
But oh man, that's gonna be the topic for tomorrow, talking about kids in a relationship and all of that. So, but
Uh-oh.
um, I think it's at this age I'm at now. I think it's crazy to stay with somebody because you got a kid.
Mm,
I, I'm not staying with you because we got a kid together.
mm,
Why am I gonna suffer knowing that I
mm.
am not emotionally attached to you, but I'm gonna stay in this relationship with you for the sake of the child? Nah, I'm gonna learn how to co-parent from over here.
I tried. I did. I tried. I think
I think we
maybe
all
it's
been there.
normal. Okay, yeah, okay. I feel like it's a catch 22, especially I feel with women. I feel like women, especially black women, we're expected to be, it's normal for us to be single mothers out here, I guess, if you will. But then it's like people automatically look at us and assume, like, oh, your baby daddy must not have wanted you. Two, you know what I mean? I don't know, you weren't trying to make it work or anything like that, not understanding the circumstances. It's like maybe I left
Hmm.
him, you know what I'm saying? Not the other way around. Maybe I left him because the
Yeah.
circumstances weren't, great for me. But I feel like we automatically get the bad rap. Yeah, they didn't want you, and ain't nobody else gonna want you because you got X amount of kids. You know what I'm saying? Like we get so much flack and so much hate, and it's like so crazy. It's like, hey, I
Yeah,
tried. I tried for a whole year, and he felt like another child to me, and I said, I can't do it. Can't do it.
yeah. It became a chore.
Absolutely. Anybody got
Yeah.
time for that? Just for perspective, because it looks better. Nah. I don't care.
Right, right, right. It's a business arrangement.
Mm,
But when you look at what was that? Have y'all watched Reasonable Doubt?
nuh-uh.
Y'all need to watch Reasonable Doubt
Definitely
because
watched
everything you
that.
just said,
Mm-hmm.
man, that Reasonable Doubt, you boy, especially season two, you'll start to see why. I mean,
Yes.
people end up being together for so long till it's like, look, if that's what you got to go and do, you go do that. You just make sure that XYZ is all good over here,
Mm.
and we're gonna stay together because it's a fight, it's a business decision.
I'm here. I saw this one couple recently with the lavender marriage. They were in that similar kind of mindset. Lavender marriage is when a straight woman marries a gay man, and they were like, "Fix your
What?
face, fix your face."
from so I can start looking. Where do you get this? First it was the silver divorce and the silver foxes and the gray divorce, and now it's a lavender marriage. Honey,
A
my wedding
lavender
cannot be purple
marriage.
now. Got to be more careful.
Great
Just
women
be messing
marrying
it
great
up.
men.
What? Y'all ain't heard
Cheetah.
that? Y'all, come on.
Girl, where you
I
get this
live under a
from?
rock.
No.
Yes, it's
Me
called.
too,
I
Marlon.
swear. Look it up. Look it up. It's called the lavender marriage. It's a thing. So it's this
Now,
one
have you ever
couple
heard of
that
that?
keeps popping up, and basically, it's a straight woman with a married.
Lavender marriage.
And they've been together for years, and people are asking them questions about it, like, how does it work? Do you all get jealous? Do y'all live together? They were like, are y'all just roommates? And he was like, well, I have this part of the home, she has this part of the home, we're in the process of building another. He was like, but we are actually partners, like we are, raising our children together, and things like that. I can date
Oh,
outside the
who having
home.
the children? If he gay and she straight, is she having children with another man that
So
want to have sex
I
with
ain't got
her?
that far yet. I don't know if she came to the marriage with children or not. Like
Okay, okay.
I don't know. But lavender marriage is a real thing. You know what I'm saying?
Curious
And they're
mind.
basically it's a
Got to be more
partnership. And
careful.
like Marlon was saying, it's a business. You know what I mean? Like, but it's a
Boy,
relationship, and they're creating and they're building, but it's like also it's open too, cuz she can go out and date and he can go out and date. But if you bring somebody here, they have to really understand what's going on. It's like it's a relationship
Because
without
you can't
it's the
get married,
relationship
so you
without the
ain't
romance.
dating. You out there having fun because you ain't dating. You gathering data to, yeah, you ain't dating. You could just going out to have fun because you already married.
I mean, you can date
Mm.
to be married, child.
oh man. Oh
We just gonna have to Webster, you dead. We need a whole new dictionary for the
boy.
world. We need a whole new chat. Make me a new dictionary for 2025, please, chat.
Man, because
Thank you,
I
chat.
don't know nothing.
You gotta be in 26, baby. Come on.
Chat, save this new dictionary, the chat dictionary. Save it to my phone, chat, so I can look at it. Email it to this email address, chat.
Yes, great divorce and lavender marriages.
Great
I'm talking
divorce
about what is
and
there gonna be a
lavender.
blue marriage
I ain't never in my
when you
life.
marry a
I'm
baby
trying to
boomer and you
understand
a
this.
millennial?
Deidre, have you ever heard of that?
For real.
Deidre probably
It's
at work
real
like,
life.
Deidre at work like, hey man, y'all
It's
ever heard of this?
Where is Big Guy 33 so he can learn about the lavender so he don't get caught up in the lavender gray.
Man, I don't even know.
Man, Marlon face twisted up
I
so
have
bad when I
not.
said
You say what now?
your
Listen,
face twisted up so bad when I explained
Hey.
what it was.
he
I
came
have
from
not heard
underneath
of
that
that.
rock.
No, but I am getting ready for work. That's why
Oh,
I'm here though.
okay.
I'm listening. I'm getting ready
I
for
got
work.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, that was a new for me, man.
Hmm.
Lavender marriage.
Yes.
Lavender marriage. I
Yes.
thought she was talking about wedding colors, and then she started to
Right.
explain. I said,
No.
"Wait a minute."
No, ma'am. It is real life.
John P. Key, where you at? Jesus is real. I know the Lord to me. Lavender
I
marriages
think
are too, y'all.
I think
I'm
people just
telling the
coming up
truth.
with things just
They
to
are.
justify them doing it. So
I
let me
mean,
come up with this so it can be a reason why. See, this is a thing. Nah, bruh. Come on, man.
come on. People probably in lavender marriage don't even realize it. Okay. Hello. Come on.
Yeah, they got
DL
some
man.
undercover
Huh.
DLs. Mm-hmm.
What was that? Why did I get married? What was that on? Oh, so you doing the bending? Come on.
Oh yeah, with Ghost.
It's
Uh-huh.
for color girls.
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh, so you
Oh,
doing the
that's
bending?
okay. Yeah. Well, it was in for Color Girls and Why Did I Get Married when
Janet Jackson.
Amari was with Janet Jackson
Mm,
and he was over there dealing with old boy. Yeah, yeah,
yep.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So in other words, they just put a title to it.
There you go. And I mean,
But
quite
I
frankly,
think one is open and the other one is just you're not truly being who you are.
say it again. One is open, and you're not truly being who you are.
And one is like when you got the DL cats,
Mm-hmm.
those
Mm-hmm.
ones are just not being
True.
honest about who they are.
Very true.
But then Lavender is like, look, this is who I am, and they got somebody
Right.
to accept them.
True.
All of it confusing to me.
Well, it's not for you then. And
Oh,
that's
it
okay.
ain't. It
And
ain't.
that's okay. And
It
that's
ain't.
okay.
I ain't
I feel
even
like
gonna
to each
judge
his
it.
own.
Yeah,
Because
each his
ultimately,
own.
What are these
ultimately,
based out of?
huh?
Where are these lavender? Is it like a Hollywood thing?
No. No,
It's not
these are
here
just
in the
everyday
country.
people.
Like where did it say it like maybe started out or
Oh, I have no
large
idea.
population of lavender marriages are?
Yeah.
Like their
Man,
geographic look like in California there's a
an influx of lavender marriages. Florida.
because
Right.
I can't see in Huntsville, Alabama, there's a rise of lavender. I don't see that there. So I'm just trying to figure
Mm-mm.
out where it is.
Right. Right.
It's not in the Midwest where the Amish communities and stuff are the Northeast. Maybe New York, but it's giving California.
It really
I don't
is.
see how a woman could want that for herself though. Like really, why
Right.
do that? I don't get it.
That's that
I can't see
self-esteem.
how two dudes would marry one woman and be like, yeah, we got one wife. I don't see
Well,
that, but it
yeah,
happens. So,
they do.
and then it's black people. I'll be like, child, one of them got
All right.
the white black men.
I
It's that
found it. You ready?
low self-esteem.
Yes, yes, Peter.
Okay. Can y'all hear?
It better not be Nutbush, Tennessee. Where is it at,
It
Keita?
said it originated in the early 20th century, particularly in Hollywood, as a way for people to cover up their same sex marriages.
I was figuring Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yep, it was giving California all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there you
Okay.
have it, folks. A way to cover up their same sex relationships.
Sure.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, people got to justify what they're doing. So,
True.
um,
Mm.
well, this one's a
This
good
is a
one.
10. Let's give it a nice name.
Right.
We out here having sex. That's fornicate. Oh, let's just say we outside. And then if you
We
want to shame
outside.
somebody, say they for the streets. It's like they just chat. Give me the darn 2026 dictionary, cause honey, this
Look,
right here.
look.
Listen, we can't. Every marriage is different, and marriage is allowed to look different too, right?
Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So everybody has a different type of marriage,
Yeah.
but
No,
the
but
color of the marriage is a lilac. I mean, a lavender.
What you wanted to be called, sis?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can Marlon and Nisi marriage be a color? It's just a
Teal.
regular marriage. I'm sorry.
Right.
Teal. Okay. So in the mid 21st century, originating in where y'all got married at, Marlon? In Texas?
Vegas.
In Vegas,
Yep.
Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada. Till marriages begin. Ah,
Right.
and
Just put a
y'all
color
deserve a
on
color marriage too.
it. Hey,
Y'all deserve it.
we deserve
I'm
it.
gonna
We
give
got
me
to
a
keep it
teal
that
marriage
way.
too.
Go ahead, bro.
Right.
But no, thank you so much, Keita. Like I really love when you're on because you
She gonna bring
share
something
too.
to open our
Right.
eyes.
I love it. I be playing, but I like the fact that we're learning new stuff.
Well, thank you. I just be talking
Yeah.
crazy. I just be on the internet all the time, y'all.
Hey, knowledge is power.
I love it. Whew. But I ain't gonna apply no lavender knowledge all the time.
Like I said, to each his own. He was talking about how it works for them. Talking about yes, but hey, I feel like if everybody's happy, they happy, their family's happy. Like it's all about structure, right? They providing that, they're successful. Well, hey, do you, boo boo?
I
You.
understand that, but at the same time, it's other people that are involved and that are affected by like
What you
their
mean?
children that they have,
Well, what's the
like
detriment to the children?
certain situations. I mean, I don't know, maybe because it's not normal.
Ooh, don't do that. Ooh, don't say normal. That ain't
Well,
nice.
well, I don't know.
Again, what's the
I
detriment
just
to
feel
the
like a
children? We say
lie. I
that
mean,
children
if you're
thrive in.
lying, I just feel like people should honestly just be real with themselves. Instead of being real with themselves, they're worried about what other people think and how other people will feel about them. And then they have these, like you say, a straight woman with a gay man, and then they're having children, and then it's like a big ass lie.
Whoa.
Right.
It's not a lie because again, who's to say that she didn't come into that marriage with the child? Who's to say that she wasn't a single mother and struggling as a single mom on her own? And this man, he happened to be gay, but still loved her. They could have been best friends. You know what I'm saying? But he still loved her and the child. So they decided to make it official and he adopted said child. So ultimately, everybody's benefiting. This child is growing up in a two-parent household, which everybody wants. Just because you are a gay man doesn't make you less qualified to be a father figure.
That's a good argument, Keita. That's a good argument. If we're debating, that's a good argument. I don't have to agree, but it's a great argument.
Hmm. I hear it.
Yeah, I don't think that if a dude is gay, he's less than a father figure or whatever. If it's your points that you're debating, if this was a debate, are all valid. I think you're a great debater.
I'm just saying. Well, thank you, but I'm just saying, like, is
I agree.
having a
It's
two
different
parent household is
scenarios
always
and
going to be
different
better than a single
situations.
parent household,
Yep.
especially if they're well taken care of, if they're happy or whatever like that. So again, the child is not, and they're not living a lie because again, obviously, they're speaking to it to the world, answering questions about it. They ain't lying.
Facts.
They're just
Yeah.
not going based off of what the Bible says that they should do by a covenant being a man and a woman. That doesn't mean that they're lying, and that doesn't mean that they're wrong either, right? They're just not going based off of your belief. Okay,
I think
people
I
are
think
entitled to their own beliefs.
true. I just think that was that Deidre Desiree. I can't see. I'm in the dark driving, but
Deidre.
It's
Deidre,
different.
I think that if you're going to debate Keita, not argue or whatever, but if you're going to debate her, like I feel what was coming up in your sha na na, but you didn't let it out. So if you're gonna like debate a stance, rule, pick a side and then debate that side. She has a different she doesn't have to agree with what she's saying, but she's standing on the side that she's going to debate and she's bringing facts. I think that if you want other people to kind of see what you're trying to bring out, I hear it, but you ain't said it yet. So if you want people on the platform to hear it, say exactly what you're wanting to say and say it with your chest, like Bernie Mac said. But I, I
Gotcha.
I know you wanted to say something, but say it. It's not going to offend anybody. Your opinion matters, your stance matters, and you could be speaking up for somebody else who's in the comments. And that's why I said that Keita debates well. Don't have to agree with it. She may not agree with it, but she chose a side and she's
Mhm.
debating her point, and she's doing it very well.
Well, thank you,
She does.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Hmm.
So I'm waiting on Deidre.
Look,
She was finna drop
Look,
something,
I'm
but she just powered down.
look, I'm stuck right now. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm thinking.
okay.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's
Say it
cool.
with
I can't deal
Well,
with
like I said, I
someone
feel
who don't like.
like just as a whole, we just gotta sometimes shift the perspective. I feel, and I don't want to offend anybody either on the platform, but I feel like a lot of it happens though in the Christian realm, though, when it's not of what we believe in, we automatically think is wrong, and that's not okay. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
I mean, but if
Christianity
it's
is not
wrong,
the
it's
end all
wrong,
be
and
all.
being wrong ain't okay. I mean, I don't mind saying it with my chest. I don't care
No,
if it's the law or if
being
it's the
wrong is
Bible
not
or
okay.
whatever. You know, it's not okay to be wrong.
That's
Like,
right.
somebody has an opinion, for instance, Deidre, and this is what I mean when I say it with your chest. Like, I'm not offended by anything Keita says, and I hope she's not offended by anything that I say, because my opinion is mine, her opinion is hers. But I'm standing in church, and let's just say, for instance, I have a
What up,
son.
Coco?
God gave me a son that's a boy, and he's gonna grow up to be a man. You're not gonna tell me that it's okay for my son to be giving another man head or whatever because that's what he feels and it brings him enjoyment, and and that's not the way I want to raise him. And if I say that I'm believing what God's word said is don't do that, I'm not gonna go deep into it, but I'm just arguing a point, right?
Right.
So the thing is, and you have a son, but you telling him he got to get married and have your grandbabies. You ain't finna send my son to hell get your own son and have him stuff the darn Peter. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think what she's saying is that, Deidre, don't let me talk for you, but my understanding was when you were saying that children are being affected and brought up in a lie, it's not a lie. It's just that they'll be brought up in a manner that you would not want to raise your child in if you were putting yourself in that type of scenario, is what I think you were going to say, but you retracted.
That's understood. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like Keita was saying, we don't know if that child was born from the gay father who is capable of being a parent, or if that mother came into that business agreement of a marriage with the gay man with children from a previous relationship
Hmm.
or a marriage. So I think it's important that when you have a thought and you have the platform to say it and get it out, because it can help drive the conversation. And nobody's gonna be offended on here. We all got on our big boy and big girl draws.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes,
Hmm.
ma'am. So go ahead and say what you was gonna
Mm-hmm.
say, because I'm waiting. I'm waiting on it.
Man, look, DJ trying to get ready for work.
I mean, of
Yeah.
course, it's going to affect them in some fashion. But again, that's not to say that, a man and a woman being married is going to always be the best version, or the best foundation for a child either. Because again, we talk about so many domestic violence cases against men and women. You know what I'm saying? So it's like one situation is not better than the other. A child is not going to grow up better in a same sex situation versus, a man and a woman type of situation. Again, there are just so many different scenarios. I feel one, in my personal opinion, a man and a woman is no better than a woman and a woman, or a man, a man and a man. I feel when it comes to the aspect of raising a child, I
And
feel like having two parents is way better than being a single parent. I feel that way.
so Keita, let me throw this in there too, because I like how you put that. Because a woman and a woman, a grandmama and a mama living in the same house is two women, but a
Yes,
man can still come out being a man and not
yes,
want to be a woman or
that's
be
true.
with another man. So it's not even just the relationship part. The child is going to be um so you know how we always talk about, oh, we got to unlearn things that we learned at a young age or work through traumas and healings. Everything that you're going to have to go through on earth, all the tools are inside of you, because when God did everything in the 7 days and rested, that's it, period. Everybody like to say he's still doing something. He resting, y'all. You making your decisions. Humans are above the angels because we have choice. Okay, everybody don't like Bible talk. I just have to throw my little 2 cents in because I do like Bible talk. But the thing is this, is that after they've gone through their childhood, so children are a blessing to their parents, right? So if you do them right, they are a blessing to you. They will bless you when they become an adult. You don't have to be the person that birthed, or that child did not have to come from your loins if you're a man. If you take care of that child the right way, they're going to come up and blossom and be a great addition to the world. They were born for a purpose, whether they were here by accident or not. After you do your part, they're going to go through schooling. Friends, other people's families that have shaped and molded those children are going to influence behaviors. Like my niece is 5. She's hanging out with certain kids. Mama ain't there to guide her, so those kids are influencing her. And then there's an adult that's a teacher or educator that is guiding those actions and reactions and feelings and stuff. But then you grow up and go to high school, you don't listen to teachers or adults because you think you grown, you smelling yourself, and then other teenagers, what we call peer pressure, are shaping and molding those decisions. And then you grow up out of that and go to college, you think you grown for real, and then life start teaching you lessons because you're learning to live based off of what was put inside of you at a young age, right? And you're starting to pull all of these resources out. So like Kita is continuing to argue her point very strong, is not necessarily the relationship of the two people that are coming together. Is definitely not that. However, I can see where Deidre is saying that she has her opinions because of her foundation.
Right.
But Deidre, one thing I want to try to coach you into doing is have a firm foundation, have a strong foundation. And what the kids say now, chat, stand on business. Don't cower down because somebody says, oh, well, if the Christian world, y'all have such a strict thing. The Muslims do too. But guess what they do? They stand on freaking business and are taking over countries. Stand on business and say what you got to say and make your, what's inside of you known, because you're given this platform that you may never have again. We ain't promised tomorrow. We ain't promised to ride to work. God, I pray she has safe travels to work. But at the end of the day, it's just stand on it and say what you got to say, because we need to hear it. I know I'm waiting to hear it still.
I think she already. I mean, I honestly, I think that you already said it. It was, she didn't agree with it, but it's one of
Yeah.
those to each his own type situations. You know what I'm saying? Like, I put like my opinion on it is, I get where like Kita's saying, like, for the two parent household aspect of things, I think there can be confusion in the in same sex parenting households. I think when you raise a kid in a same sex parent household, it's almost like you can skew that child's thought to say, okay, this is what I need to go and do. But when I take it to a level of procreation, if it depends on how you teach procreation, because I think it's get confusing trying to teach a child procreation when they're in a household where you can't procreate.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? I think there's a level of confusion that comes with that. However, I think for two guys raising a girl is likely to be a blossoming relationship, to where that girl would potentially make the decision to want to have a husband. You know what I mean? I think if it's, I don't know. This is one of those conversations that I don't necessarily say avoid. Um, but I think it's one of those to each his own. I'm not on board with it, you know, and that's just my stance. It's one of the confusing part. I say confusing because let's say you got kid A. Kid A is going to school, and kid A is saying, "Hey, you know." Kid A goes to school. Kid B says, "Hey, my mom and dad wants to know if you can come over." And then kid A goes, "Well, let me talk to my moms." And kid B goes, "Your moms? Or you mean your mom and dad?" No, I got two moms. Kid B goes back and say, "Well, Kid A wants to come over, but he needs to ask his moms. So automatically, kid B parents, it depends on where they're at in life, may go, I don't think I want you guys hanging out because I don't want you to get confused and think that's the way that things are to go. From what they're teaching versus what they're teaching. I think that's where the confusion comes into play because that child now has to be able to differentiate between the two, and it forces them to make a choice. And everybody knows every child never truly wants to disappoint their parent. They never want to disappoint their parent. They want their parents' approval for everything. So child A will likely follow in the same steps as their parents as opposed to child B. Now, it's not saying that child B may not end up being like child A, parents. But I think we influence a lot of the direction of what our kids do. We have a lot of influence on our children. Let me put it like that. We have a lot of influence on our children to push them in the direction that we want them to go. Again, I'm not in a same-sex household, so I don't know what they're pushing. But I'll say on the outside looking in, people's lifestyles tend to push off onto their kids. Like my lifestyle of loving to travel, that pushes off on my kids where guess what they want to do? They want to go travel. They want to go do this. I don't know what that lifestyle looks like.
So I hear you and I feel you on that. The part where I was like, I don't feel like it's confusing is because, and I agree that, parents have a huge, impression upon their children. I feel like though today, children are being taught more to do for them, do what is right for them, instead of just following behind their parents' footsteps, right? So I feel like it's all about teaching. Like children, even in the same sex, in a relationship with a man and a woman, right? We still have to teach our children about procreation. It's all about how it's taught. And of course, we're all confused when we don't know. Ignorance is bliss. But if you're in a same-sex situation, you're going to teach your child, yes, procreation is from, technically semen to egg fertilization. Now, that can go nowadays in a lot of different ways. It's about opening and expanding your child's mind to say that, hey, science is there and science has developed in a way that not just same-sex people are using in vitro and things like that to get pregnant, but even men and women are using it as well who cannot get pregnant. So it's not just being used on same sexes. It's all about what we choose to teach and how open-minded we want our children to be. Some people are afraid to open their children's minds to these things because we are afraid that they may choose a route that we don't approve of. And that in itself is selfish and unfortunate because yes, our children want to, please their parents, but to what extent? You also don't want your children to abandon themselves and what they want to be truly and who they are just because you don't agree with it.
Yeah. Look, that's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down.
It is.
It's yeah. Yeah. And actually might be able to go down that rabbit hole tomorrow. We might be able to go down that one tomorrow based upon my topic for tomorrow as we come to an end. Tomorrow, the topic is the blended family effect. Loving someone with kids, dating and marrying into a ready-made family. I don't have any gender specific on that. I leave it open because whoever's on the panel, whoever's in the comments, that blended family, it can be wide open. But my highlight of it is when you're dating and marrying to a ready-made family, what is your position and what is your role into that? You know, um, so this should be pretty interesting tomorrow. Needless to say,
I'm here for it.
yeah, this is going to be interesting tomorrow because man, I got some rabbit holes to go down with this one tomorrow because we're talking about a society where it's hard to date someone who doesn't have a kid. It's hard. Like right now, there are more people with kids, and when you're meeting people, it's dating someone. You're about to date someone that has a kid. Like Keita, you're single. You got a daughter. You know, Tay's single, got a kid. You know, got a son. You know what I'm saying? Even though her son is grown. You know what I'm saying? It's still the principle behind it. I'm not sure about Deidre. You know, before I got married, I had kids before my marriage. She also had kids before the marriage. You know what I'm saying? So the dating pool is very scarce to find somebody dating and you're not about to be a part of a family that's already there. You know? But we'll deep dive in that tomorrow though. We'll deep dive, man.
Sounds
But
good.
look, man, look, I'm gonna let everybody keep it going. Um, everybody check in tomorrow, man. We're gonna lock in tomorrow. Everybody enjoy your night. Have a drink. Deidre, make sure you get safe to work. Um, I was looking for for Morris, man. I hope he good because I shot him an invite a few times actually. I didn't see him. I don't know if he's on the road making moves. Do you know Deidre? Is he good?
Talked to him earlier. I don't know what he got going on, like as of right now, but yeah, he's good.
Okay,
He's just
cool, cool,
moving
cool.
around, so some things maybe, you know.
I got you. Cool, cool, cool. Well, look, you guys have a good night. See y'all tomorrow,
You
7
too.
p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. And we'll chop it up again tomorrow.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.